hands together for our sister Trish. Now, Trish is a professional, right? She's a professional. And so I'm going to hit Trish with something today. I'm going to hit her with something today. And this is our last month of love series, and I'm going to hit her with something. Now, the first thing that comes to your mind, I want you to say. When I say this one word, I want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay? All right. It's the first thing that comes to her mind. All right? All right, here we go. All right. Faith.
Favor.
Love.
Bliss.
Bliss. Okay. Forgiveness.
Prosperity.
Okay. Wow. Let me say that again. Forgiveness.
Prosperity.
Okay. Give me another one, though. Forgiveness.
Deliverance.
Wow. Okay. I like it. Marriage.
Amazing.
Wow.
Partnership.
Okay. All right. Divorce.
Difficult.
Okay.
Challenging.
Okay. Infidelity.
Painful.
Okay. Anger.
It all depends. Anger, cathartic.
Okay.
Cathartic meaning it's a release.
Okay.
Release.
Okay. And communication.
Effective.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now these are things that just pop, things that I just come up with, and whatever's in her mind, that's exactly what it is, right? So to me, with all of this, that's whatever is in her mind, whatever comes up in her mind, whatever she thinks of. And so when I think about all of these things, if you said faith to me, I'll say God. I'll say, reliance, confidence. Or you say marriage. I was testing my wife with this yesterday, and she said us. And I said, oh, okay. I said, but that's the first thing that came to her mind. When it comes to marriage, she says us. And I'm like, man, that's awesome, because now you're thinking, wow, okay. And the first thing when she said us, I'm saying to myself, okay, I like that, but what can I do better? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
What can I do better? And so when I said infidelity, I said, oh, snap. y'all don't watch that. You don't watch that show Snap. They be snap.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so,
yeah.
Anger, when you say anger or communication, when they say communication, the first thing I thought of was like a dialogue. Because it takes two. You can't really have effective communication just one way, from my standpoint. And so I'm thinking that communication, it gotta be a two-way street. And so with that said, and that was just just
We
an
call it
opener.
free association in my world.
Oh, what is it? What do you call it?
Free association.
Free association.
Let it roll off.
All right.
Off your tongue. It just flow.
Okay, I just call it whatever's on your mind.
And so I thought faith for me, when you're faithful, when you have faith, you're just prosperous in so many ways.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah.
Health,
Yeah. Right.
And when I think marriage, I just think amazing partnership.
And that's something if you're married to the right person.
Well, you will hope.
You
will hope.
Well,
we're talking about the ones, Robert, that it's an act of free will. You've exercised sound judgment, and your decisions were clear.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's the one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. you went to the right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Sometimes certain people, it take them 2 or 3 times before they actually find the right person.
That is true. But when we're doing free association and it's rolling off, what's in you come out of you. So when I hear marriage, I just think, wow, amazing.
Right. And no, I'm not disagreeing. I think it is great.
Yeah.
I think marriage is great.
Yeah.
And I always say, you know, it's something that when you are together with the right person,
Yes.
it makes life much easier.
Yes.
It does.
Yes.
I'm not saying you ain't going to get difficult times, but it makes things right, you know?
Which goes back to what we've been talking about from the beginning. The values have to be clear from the beginning, right?
They have to be
in alignment.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So you know this is my partner, my ride or die.
Mm-hmm.
You've exercised sound judgment.
Right.
This was God's will.
Right.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
I often say, a woman who will stick with you when you have nothing is worthy to be with you when you hit the top.
Yeah.
And so I remember not having anything. And so for my wife to stick with me when I didn't have anything, now that God has placed me on my feet to be, and I look at myself as a success. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm on that path.
Yeah.
And so, you know, for her to stick with me through everything, you know, having no heat, no money, no nothing, no, you know, I had nothing, not even a cookie.
We call that on the street, ride or die.
Ride or die.
Ride or die.
I remember she came to my dorm, and you know, the only thing that I can give her was what was in the cafeteria.
Macaroni and cheese.
Well, if it was available that day. And so that was it. That was it. And so I'm really happy that I found someone who would stick with me at my worst and then be with me in my best. And even if it went back to my worst, she would still be there. I have the confidence that she would be there and help us get through so we can get back on top.
But your love is unconditional.
Unconditional.
Not conditional. It wasn't based on what you had. It was just all about you. I love you in spite of.
Right.
The fact that you ain't had no money back in the dorm.
Right.
You know, you were just feeding me chips and
Right.
soda in spite
Snapple.
of
and I tell you that it better be unconditional. She on my retirement.
This is what I'm saying.
No, I'm joking. All right, now
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, Robert.
All right, and we're almost through, because I believe that what we have done has touched a lot of lives, not just here but around the world. And how do I know that? Because I get inboxed all the time. And so I am really excited about what we have started here and what we will continue to do, because I believe this is something that's innovative, something that the body of Christ actually needs. We need to stop looking over things and actually attack the issues and be real with people. You know, sometimes your dating situation ain't going to work with that person. But that doesn't mean that you stop there. You keep moving on until you find the right person. That's all I'm saying. You know, what is the number one thing you would tell a dating couple to look out for?
Well, character. Remember when we went back, we started, Robert, we talked about the core values. There are some non-negotiables, and you should know what your at least 3 core values are before you enter into relationships. Those are your non-negotiables. What do you value? Do you value communication? Do you value family? Do you value healthy, physical life? All those things. You need to know those things. Now, I always say 2 things. When you talk about character, it is important for you to assess not just what the person say, but what the person do. Okay. Character. That's the alignment. So most people perpetrate a fraud, and it's all about reputation. Right. It's our perception of that person. But you must be clear and understand and assess and analyze the person's character. That is who that person is going to be. In the in-love phase, you're not seeing everything. Your hormones are operational, and that will take some time. So you have to be attuned and in tune to looking at what he or she says to ensure that it is aligned with what he or she does. Action speaks louder than words.
Right. And that's the thing, is that we talk a lot, but we don't do a lot. And so if we don't put what we have spoken into effect, then all we are, as the Bible says, is a sounding brass and a tinkling cymbal. Yep. And so everything that we do say means nothing. if we don't do.
There you go.
Faith without works is dead.
Yes.
And so we must put actions to everything. And I'm just basically just putting a spiritual spin on what she said.
Yes.
We got to put our action into it. If I love you, show me you love me.
Yes.
Don't just talk about it. Show me.
Yes.
You know? And so that's something that's very important.
But remember, love is respect, caring, knowing, and knowing is a process, right?
Right.
So that's and being in responsibility. That means that I'm responsible for you. So if I'm responsible, then I'm going to be on time. Then I'm going to, you know what I mean?
Right,
I'm going to show up and I'm going to do what I need to do.
Right.
So love is not just a feeling. That's just one aspect, but it is more action-based. Watch, people. Watch.
It's a verb. It's a verb, all right? Okay, let me give you the next question.
Okay.
You ready? What do you suggest married couples do to increase the bond in their marriage?
That's not hard. 3 words.
3 words.
Be affectionate.
Okay.
Be attentive.
Be attentive. And I'm sitting here counting. I'm counting the 3 words.
And be appreciative.
Be appreciative.
It's really, you know what I mean, Robert? Think about it. If I'm attentive to you, that means that I'm intentional about loving my husband or my wife.
Okay.
I'm paying attention.
Right.
I know when you're off. You know what I mean? I know when something is not, clicking.
Right.
I know when your mood shifts. That's
Right.
being attentive. I'm attuned and in tune.
Right.
If I'm appreciative, I'm going to demonstrate that, right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's important that we look at these things. So it's attentiveness, appreciativeness, and what was the other one I said?
Affection.
Now you know that kills marriages, right? Affectionate.
Wow.
Being affectionate. And I just don't mean that, I mean before you get there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
What are some of the things that you need to do? A simple touch. A man needs to be, like you've always said, edified. And so one thing that women can do for their husband is a simple rub on their shoulder. When you're out to dinner, under the table, simple things, just hand holding.
I hope their feet are done. I'm just saying. No.
They've been married.
Got them
married
boomerang
for so
toes.
long, Robert. They're used to each other, so But that's important.
No,
Those
it is.
3 things.
Because you know what? I love when I come home from a stressful day, because I'm dealing with different things all day, and then come home. And the first thing I encounter when I come home is that my children run to me, especially, my daughters. When my daughters will be more affectionate, they'll come and give me a hug. My sons give me a pound or a what's up. That's their sign of affection. Yeah. And so to get that every time that I come home means a lot to me. It means that they appreciate me. And they don't even have to say it, but that's just what's being expressed. And then at night, I'm chilling or I'm reading the Bible because people want the word of God or something, and so I'm reading, trying to edify myself. But you get that rub on the head, that makes you feel like you are a king, that you're important. Respect.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I believe that every man want to feel that. Now, if a man don't want to be touched, I don't know what to say. Maybe they just hard body. I don't know. But for me, I love that. Just a simple rub on the or doggone it, I've been in the gym forever. My back hurt.
That's right.
I'm just saying, just lifting all that weight, it hurts. But just to get that little rub, y'all don't have to worry about it. I know I'm big. Y'all ain't got to tell me. And so, but just to get that little rub on the back, a little massage or something like that, she don't even have to say, "Oh, baby, I appreciate you." It's just by what she does, the affection.
There you go.
And so, but it got to be reciprocated.
Yes.
It got to be reciprocated. I believe that if my wife says something, because who is it? That they got the love languages.
The 5 love languages.
Yeah. What I am saying is that with the 5 love languages, or if she loves gifts and she says, "Oh, I like this," she don't have to tell me, "I want you to go out and get it." It's something that we are supposed to be attuned and in tune with.
There you go.
Because I believe that this is the thing. She says it, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to go out there and make sure that she feels special and get it.
That's the communication.
Yes.
That's the partnership,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what makes marriages last long.
Of course.
When you are in tune.
And
attuned.
Because the knowing is a part of love.
Right. Let me go to this one.
Okay.
What would you, unless you have anything off of that?
Go ahead.
Okay. What would you suggest that a single person do to maintain the integrity of self?
That is awesome. I
That's
love
a
that
heavy
question. I
question.
do. And we're going to expand on that during our relationship sessions, because I think we need to spend some time on that. We got to cultivate that a little bit deeper. Right. And I say that because to integrity is a core value, right? Okay. I value myself. And most people, when they talk about integrity in organizations, that's a big deal in terms of partnership and any type of contractual relationship. But what I say to single people, mate your soul before you find your soulmate.
Wow. Say that again.
Yeah. Mate your soul.
Okay.
Mate your soul. Spend time with yourself. Sit with yourself. If you can't be alone with yourself, how do you expect someone else to tolerate being with you?
Wow.
That is the problem. People don't take the time to, what do you mean you don't travel by? I can't be by. Yes, you can. If you cannot tolerate being by yourself, oh God, how do you expect someone else to tolerate being with you? Right. Take the time to get to know. When people mate their soul and they'll see you by yourself, they say, oh, what's wrong with that person? But it's quite the contrary, you see. It's right with that person.
Right.
And that's why I say, single, if you make your soul and take the time to feed your spirit, then you will attract. Because you've already gotten the information, which leads to transformation.
Wow.
Then you don't have to worry about attracting all kinds of crazy.
Right.
You are secure.
Right.
You are grounded.
Right.
You dig?
And that's what makes a single woman attractive.
Robert, I was thinking about that question when Sharon sent it about 4 o'clock this morning. You know, I only got the questions, a few hours ago. And I said, okay, I'm just going to have to operate on a win here. And so
well, you a professional.
I'm just saying.
I am first. You help the mind.
And I thought about, I'm going into your area for a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
And I thought about Abraham, right? And when he told someone to go find a wife for Isaac, you remember? And then he went off and he says, don't get him from over here. And then the angel went. And what did he say? He says, when you go to the well, the woman that you see first, right? And if she offers, I forgot the story, but if she offers water or she offered something to him, so it wasn't the one who wanted to take or said, what you got for me? Right. She willingly offered. Right. So you got to look at those things. You know what I mean? It's her heart. It's not about what you could give for me, what you could do for me.
Right.
Her heart was pure. Right. Her heart was pure. Right. Just like it says, he who finds. You know what I mean?
He who finds a wife,
he who
finds a good thing.
Finds action. You got to, it's a process. Right. It takes the faith. Right. It takes patience. Right. The problem is we don't take the time to nurture and mate our soul so that we can attract our soulmate. That's
an attractive thing for me. I love to see that she had her own thing going on. Yeah. And technically, when a woman is to me, she got it together. When I see you, you get your business, you got your thing going, and you could be a teacher, you could be a correctional, it don't matter what you are, but you doing your thing to the best of your ability. And you don't actually need me to do anything for you. Not to say that down the road, now listen, we're gonna have to, you're gonna have to accept what I give you. Yes. But that's a learning process because we're loving each other. Yeah. But in the beginning phase, if she don't like it, she ain't got to worry about me. I can drive myself home. I can date myself. I can buy my own self jewelry.
And you know why that is, right?
What?
Because men Don't
be trying to diss us.
No. Oh. Men and women are wired differently. Men contrary to what men like a chase. They like the conquest. Oh, yeah. They like, but most women, sometimes you got to know that and be strategic.
Right.
If you want, you know what I mean?
She said strategic. You're going to have us mad.
Yeah. But for men, too, Be careful in terms of, and we're going to wrap up, in terms of, I'm talking about men now. We spend a lot of time with women. Mm-hmm. Be conscious of the Delilah spirits and the Jezebel spirits because they come to find the secret to your soul. And because men, you know how, you sometimes I'm like, really? And I get
like, why? Why did you do that?
Why did you do that? Be patient. Really, because men are powerful. But we know that in order to come, if you really want to get to a guy, you know what I say, send Delilah. She's going to find the secret, and she's going to be extremely strategic.
We get rid of Delilahs.
So for those who out there who are single
yeah.
and are in search of that mate, that
right.
partnership,
right.
just take some time to mate your soul. Spend some quality time right. with yourself.
There's nothing wrong. Can I say this, everybody in here? There's nothing wrong with loving yourself.
Yeah. And even in marriage, too.
Y'all a dry crowd today, but there's nothing wrong with loving yourself. And I'll say that 1,000 times because I'll tell you this. People will say negative things about you and throw it in your ears, and you'll sit there and believe it. I will not believe anything negative anybody says about me. I'm handsome, I'm beautiful, I'm intelligent, I'm lovely. I love my wife, I love my children, I love my family, I love my church. And anybody that knows me knows that I have good confidence in myself. And it's not to be prideful or narcissistic in any way, but I can't allow anybody to infiltrate my mind to make me think otherwise than what God has created me to be. So anybody that tells you that you should not love yourself, they are a liar. Because you should look in the mirror every day and say, I am beautiful, I am lovely. The power of the I am. Not saying that you're going to be disrespectful to anybody, but sometimes you got to talk to yourself. Let yourself know, self, I can do this. I'm beautiful. I'm intelligent. I'll pass this test. I am great. Different things like that, because you do not want anybody to lower your self-esteem, and being that you allow them to lower self. All right? You allow them to lower yourself, and you don't want that to happen. I'm sorry, Trish. Go ahead.
That's all right. We're going to wrap up so that you could go on and continue with the word.
Yeah.
But
she said that so nice.
But
continue with the word.
So remember, singles, mature love is free to be you in partnership, because you have to remember to exist in partnership over a period of time. You can't be on top of each other. You have to be able to exist. And separateness means free to be you, free to be me, but together we're one. And
can I say this too?
And together we're one.
We're one. Can I say this too? Don't rush into anything. Don't rush it. Okay, y'all. I'm just saying. Don't rush into anything. As she said, let it grow, because most of the time we'll sit there and we'll be so fast. We have this microwave type relationship when you should just let that thing sit in the oven and yes. Because now you're gonna have, instead of learning each other, we already jumped into a relationship and we don't know nothing about each other.
And that, Robert. Remember, the 4 walls that governs our lives are the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. Physical is last. What happens? We jump to the physical and the barriers are collapsed. We haven't taken the time to cultivate a mental, right? A thought process, understand how we think. Emotional, understand how the thoughts, how do we connect with each other emotionally. The key, which is the most important, which we skip over, how do we exist and bond spiritually? That is loving from the essence of your being.
Wow. Okay.
That's why a lot of relationships and marriages are not working, because the spiritual connection, we never took the time. We skipped all the way through. Hey, I want to kick it with you, to the physical.
Okay.
We missed that spiritual connection, the bond that holds us together during the challenging times.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did y'all enjoy this today?